Welcome to the Brett Davis Podcast.
Welcome to my show. Of course, I'm here with a friend and also somebody that I really admire, not only for his the movies that he's been in, but also his comedy, Marcus Florence.
Hey, Brett.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
You're just on the radio show not too long ago, and here we are again.
See, small world.
That was a good show.
It was a good show.
You know, it was a little kind of mixed in. We had Kurt Bavacqua, and then we had you talking a little bit about what you did. But I think tonight we're going to get a little bit more into some of the things you like and a little bit more about what you're about. Cool. So tell us a little bit about some of the movies you've been in. Name a few of the great ones.
Terminator 2, Crimson Tide, Pursuit of Happiness.
Crimson Tide was just on last night.
Was it?
It was just on. That's the one with Denzel, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's like that movie was probably one of the most fun times I've had on a script.
Was he a nice guy?
Who?
Denzel?
Denzel's awesome. Yeah.
He seemed like he'd be a cool cat.
He was. But I met him in 87.
Yeah.
At the Los Angeles Theater Center, and then he used to play basketball at the Y in Hollywood. So I'd see him over there. We playing pickup games, and then
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's a good story.
He could play well too.
Well, he seemed very athletic, and he's one of my favorite actors, by the way. He's phenomenal. Besides you, of course. So your character, and we talked a little bit about this on the radio show. In Terminator 2, what was that? What was your title again?
Burly attendant.
Burly attendant.
Yeah. So that night where we're chasing Linda Hamilton, we're in the hospital, and we're chasing Linda Hamilton down the hallway. She had been working out, 6 days a week, sometimes twice a day.
She was in good shape for that movie.
She was ripped. And so James Cameron says, "Hey guys,
now were they together yet?"
Not yet, but
she took him to the cleaners.
Close. but he goes, "Can you stay a little closer to her in the shot?" We're like, "You got to slow her down. We're burly attendants."
Well, Burly Attendants, I think would have been good in maybe a remake of Deliverance, Burly Attendant and Deliverance, or the Birdcage Part 2. That's terrible. Anyway, so you're in that. You're also in The Pursuit of Happiness. Got to meet Will Smith a few times.
Met Will Smith. I auditioned for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That was a great show.
Booked the job, and then before I got there, the part had been written out. And so I show up, my car was broken down. So luckily it wasn't too far from the house. I took a cab over, and I get there, and he goes, nobody called him. And so, and my agents had already told me that I was taking a cab over there. So they bought me a cab to take me back home, and he was apologizing. He really a great guy to work with, and in Pursuit of Happiness, when I came to set, I walked into the makeup trailer, and usually stars get their makeup done in their own trailer.
Right. He's
in the regular makeup trailer. It's just me, him, his makeup artist, and the person who's doing me. He gets up out of his chair, comes over, gives me a hug, and says, "Welcome to the set, man. Let's have some fun." And just really, I really gained a lot of respect.
That's nice to hear those nice stories, because we don't always hear those little things like that.
Yeah, it's funny for years. It's like when he first started, he was Quincy Jones's protege. So.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's he was.
I'm a huge Quincy Jones fan.
17 years old. Quincy.
He's gone now, right?
Quincy?
He passed?
No, Quincy just.
Oh, the wife died. The ex-wife died.
Yes.
Peggy.
Yes.
So yeah. Quincy's still around.
Quincy's still around.
What a legend.
Yeah. So I didn't want to like Will because as an actor, because he's 17 years old, millionaire, protege of Quincy Jones. Now he's got a TV show, and then I saw him in 6 Degrees of Separation. He was very good.
And and actually that's very interesting, because I've been saying this for like days and weeks. There is a 6% degrees of separation between all of us. We all have a connection to somebody. It's not an accident. Right?
Yeah.
You believe that?
Yes, I truly do. But he was so good in that. I thought, well, okay, he's got some chops. And then when I work with him, every take he's trying to get better. And I'm the same way. It's like every take I'm giving you a little something different, massaging it a little bit differently. And our stuff together was fantastic.
So is there a role out there that you would like to play that you haven't had the opportunity to play yet, or maybe create a role for yourself?
I've been rolling around the idea of something very, very, very dark, because people see
I can't see you as Donald Trump. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna send you a picture.
You see the hair? You wear the hairpiece and then you shave the beard. I mean, anything's possible, but
That's hilarious.
I'm joking. I didn't mean to offend anybody, so I'm sorry. We're just
be lips poked out.
You're fired.
I saw this, just trying to find something dark because my first
I don't see you as playing a dark character.
Yeah, well, that's because you haven't seen me.
I don't know if I want to see.
theater.
I don't know if I want to see you being dark. I mean,
like
I like the character you bring to everything. You're kind of happy, and I mean, there's enough stuff in the world going on where.
But I'm a good actor.
Oh, you're a damn good actor.
Most people stick in their lane because they only have one.
Right.
But I can do it all. It's like, my very first big agent, they signed me. I was doing a classical theater piece called Life is a Dream. It's a very dark kind of play. And the first time they saw me do stand-up about a year later,
shocked.
They never sent me out for another drama. And so I just got sort of stuck playing all these sitcoms, throughout the 80s and 90s.
Hey, but you were working.
I was working. I was glad to be working.
Visibility.
But now it's like every time a drama comes up, there's always a discussion. Well, can he handle drama? So I want to play something dark just so they can see. Yeah, I can.
So recently, Stallone has been wanting to do Poe. Poe was one of his. I mean, even going back to the Rocky days, was somebody he wanted to portray. Problem is now slides a little bit on the long tooth area of his life now. Yeah, he still wants to do the movie, but he wants to produce it and direct it, and he's looking for somebody to play Poe. Yeah, which Poe's an interesting character in himself. I think.
I think so.
I think it would. I think it would fly. I think Johnny Depp could pull it off.
Yeah.
Or
Johnny Depp is great. He's
great. Iron Man. What's his name?
Robert Downey.
Yeah, I think Robert Downey could pull it off too.
Because I'm the dude for the dude.
What movie was that?
Tropic Thunder.
He was good in that.
He
shocked people.
Funny. Yeah.
He got nominated for an Oscar for that role, right?
Yeah, he did.
He didn't win. But he got nominated.
He was good.
Because he had to look a couple times. Something didn't seem.
Yeah, when it first started, I was like, "What is this dude?" And then I realized that's Robert Downey Jr.
Right. Phenomenal actors. You're a great actor. What's the similarities, if there are any, to being a comedian and being an actor?
That's an interesting question. I think the ability to have a character that you perform in, because as a stand-up, although it seems like it's me up there, it's a heightened version of me. Mm-hmm. And the way I look at acting is you have several characters, and you yourself is your main character. And then you have characters that have accents and characters, that are big, far stretches from you. And so as a stand-up, my character is me, but a heightened version, and so that's, as an actor, you sort of do that. You bring what you can bring from yourself to it. And then depending on what the writer gave you, then go for it. So I think that's the biggest similarity. So,
which one do you prefer more than the other, or do you love them the same?
I like live. So live theater, live stand-up, because.
So you feel the vibe of the audience.
Yeah. If you suck right now, if a joke doesn't work tonight, you can fix it tomorrow. Or if you're doing a play and a scene's not quite working tonight, tomorrow you can fix it. When you're working with live, the thing that makes it different is that you don't know. The only thing you know for sure is what your day was like. You don't know what your scene partner's day was like. You don't know what kind of trauma they had. You don't know what the audience's day was like. So things that played well for the audience last night may not work tonight. And so you got to try to find a way to make it work in the moment. Your scene partner may give you a line that he's given to you, 600 times, slightly different tonight. And if you're just on automatic pilot, you miss an opportunity to make it work.
Okay. So, anything coming up that you're preparing for? Any new roles?
There's a film called Lying Together that we're going to be shooting in March in Denver, the Denver area. I got to start walking in elevation because I remember when we shot
Mile High City
we shot a sizzle reel, and I walked up.
You got dizzy? You got dizzy?
I was lightheaded. I was like, okay, I'm not coming back downstairs for anything, not even for lunch.
But it might not be that. It might be the fact that there's so much legal marijuana going around Denver too.
Well, but not then. when we shot that sizzle, there was none.
Sizzle and the drizzle, right? But okay, so who's the director? Who's the actors going to be in this movie?
The director is Tim Nolte, and I don't know who he's cast yet. There was a young lady named Amanda Jenkins that played my daughter in the sizzle reel, but I don't think they hired her for the film. So I'm kind of waiting to see what the cast list is going to be.
Nolte, any relation to the Nick Nolte group?
I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so. I should probably ask him maybe.
It's not a very common name.
Right. Yeah, but if there is, he never mentioned it.
Well, I get it. I get why he wouldn't, right? Great actor himself, Nick Nolte, by the way.
Yes.
Phenomenal actor.
Yes.
What was that, Sarah? Sarah's over here doing hand signs and stuff.
She did jazz hands just then.
So what about comedy? Do you have any gigs coming up with that? And how has the pandemic affected you getting the message out with your comedy? Because we need to laugh more right now than any other time.
We do. I mean, life is so hard right now for everybody. It's like even if you're doing well, there's somebody that's not. And so
we need to laugh.
So we need to laugh. Laughter is healing, and I think the more comedy we can get, the better it is. And I think we also need to get over ourselves. I think people are so uptight that comics are scared to tell jokes because they think they're going to get canceled. And it's like, just everybody relax.
Yeah, there was a comic not too long ago. What's his name? Very well-known comic. Oh my gosh. Sells out really quick. You know the name. I can't think of it. He very, very, very popular. Whose name's
got canceled?
No, he got called out on some of this. They said he was homophobic or
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. And I heard that that whole thing was taken out of context.
I watched this special twice, and if you don't watch the whole thing through the end,
you pop in and
then you just grab a little piece of it. It's like a documentary. I can take a documentary and make you look like a jackass.
That's true.
And so if you're only watching bits and pieces, sound bites, and you don't watch the whole thing, then how can you make a decision of whether it's homophobic or not? And they missed the point.
Yeah, they just were looking for, it's like anything else. They didn't see the whole thing. And I get it. And from what I heard, he's a pretty straight shooter.
Yeah.
And if I can't imagine from what I've heard about the guy that in this day and age that would even be an issue.
Right. And it's not. It's like if you watch it, you'll laugh. It's not extremely. It's not. I don't think it's his funniest work, but it's poignant. Yeah. It
made people think.
It did make people think.
We're having this discussion about it, so apparently it still has an effect, and I'm sure other people it comes up still in conversations.
I think the best thing about it is that he is big enough that it didn't shut him down. He can afford to go and produce his own stuff. So
there you go. Chaplin did the same thing.
Yeah,
with all the heat he took during the day.
Yeah,
they couldn't stop him.
Right.
I mean, they did eventually kick him out of the country, but I mean, that he pissed off the wrong person. J. Edgar Hoover.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a sense of humor. So you've got a lot of things going on right now, but the one thing you mentioned earlier that I thought was interesting is you would be a phenomenal teacher as far as acting or even comedy. I know you do one for acting.
I do teach a little bit of comedy, but it's
the acting
usually
really
just one-on-one. I don't really like to teach.
You're good. You're a good. I bet you're a phenomenal teacher.
I think part of me, because I want to perform, part of me wants to help someone else so badly that if they're not getting what I'm saying, I tend to try to give them a line, and I don't want to give them a line. I want them to discover it and understand it. So when I teach, I try to teach them concepts, and if you can understand these concepts, then you should be able to turn this line. And when they don't, it frustrates me. So I don't like to teach.
Like,
I do have one student that
you know what that was, right?
Fingers on the blackboard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. You're looking at me like, okay, this cat's tripping out over here. And
I do have one student that's a rapper in Houston. And so
a rapper in Houston.
I work with her on Zoom.
This really sounds like a joke, by the way.
No,
there was a rapper in Houston.
She started working with me on Zoom, and after the first, I think 4 weeks, booked the gig.
Oh,
And then since then, it's like we work on her stuff before she auditions, and she's booked another one, and she's blowing up.
so there you go.
Yeah.
You've had an impact.
Yeah. But I don't like it.
Okay. So let's go on to the acting. Okay. So tell me how that goes. The same thing. You work with students. I can see where you'd be very valuable.
Well, that's what I was actually talking about, was acting at that point.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, and I know you will, because that's the kind of show we have. I want us to get into a fight where we're rolling around here on the desk and everybody's like, what the hell happened? We can get some good hits on that, by the way. How is it that in acting, how is it that some people that maybe are not that talented get these roles? Am I right? There's better actors out there that should be getting some of these roles. Absolutely. How do some of these people get these roles and then they end up getting, you're like, and you don't think they're that great? Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is packaging, who your managers are, who your people are. It's like let's say if you're my manager and you have the director and the writer and the executive producer, chances are I'm going to get a job.
Well, happens to be my cousin from my second brother, who's my sister-in-law, who,
yeah,
there's a word for that.
So it's
what that's called is incest, but sorry. I'm not trying to insult anybody, so please, it's not about that. And
right, just go ahead and love your mom, sister.
That's right.
Okay.
This is a very good. I don't care if they're from Iowa or Arkansas or. I'm just teasing. Okay, it's a joke. Laugh. It's not supposed to be so serious.
We just talked about that. Get over yourself.
I mean, it's not like we're doing anything from Blazing Saddles.
Exactly.
Which couldn't be made today, by the way.
Is that right?
Could that movie be made today?
No. People will be up in arms.
Could Archie Bunker be around today?
Yes. Every week the studio would step on him, but I think Archie Bunker could be around.
Because he was a lightning rod then. He could be a lightning rod today.
He was an equal opportunity offender.
Yeah.
Sort of like Family Guy, like that whole show.
Right.
Nobody is sacred. So I think Archie could work. Red Fox, on Sanford and Son.
Red Fox is really, I mean, as you know, his real comedy act live.
Yeah.
Was way better than the stuff on TV.
Oh yeah. he would start off by, if you came to see the stuff you see on TV, you're in for a hell of a surprise.
But anyway, there's things that I'd love to say tonight. I think we're gonna have to wait till we have a comedy event if we do put one together in the future, because there's a lot of things that are going through my head I'd love to say, but I don't want to offend anybody out there. We could actually do that though, couldn't we?
I'm gonna put it in the universe when we do a comedy show in the future. It's gonna happen.
Something big, something for charity, something that's going to benefit the military, something in San Diego possibly, I think could be very successful. And we need to laugh, and we need to get people back to being, why can't we 99% agree on things and still be friends if there's this one thing we disagree on?
Which is what I say all the time. If let's say politically we vote differently, you're still my friend,
right?
I don't hate you because you don't vote the way, you don't see things the way I see things. We still have things that we have in common. And I think what has happened is that people have sort of abandoned the notion that you can be friends with somebody that doesn't think the same as you.
Well, we grew up in a diverse time. We could laugh at each other.
Yeah,
we could laugh at certain things about our cultures, and it wasn't taken out of context, and we could go out and go to movies and party together and whatever. And it was none of the sensitivity type stuff that it is now. I personally think the reason this has happened is from both the left and the right getting into politics. I think that they've taken our everyday things that we've been able to do to get along and have made it political issues.
Yeah.
And politics have not brought people together. It's caused division.
Yeah. Divide and conquer.
Right.
And here's my thought on that is that most politicians get into politics because they feel like I can help people. and then they let the lobbyists get in their pockets. And once that happens, it's about helping myself, you know, and
they get in for the right reasons. And then because of the lobbyists, they get off track.
Right. And so that's why I'm a huge
or get on crack.
I'm, I'm a huge fan of term limits because of that. It's like, get in, get your job done, get out. It's a civil service job. You know, you go back and go to work like everybody else after you're done. It's like you don't get a lifetime pension kind of thing. You get a great salary while you're working. And when it's over, go to work.
So I agree. And I think that there should be also what you call not just term limits, but campaign reform to where you can't have all this money. I think everybody. So recently, my daughter is a chef, my oldest, and we went to an area where she's cooking, and it's a small little island, you know. And so I went there and got to know the little island and people there. And we talked, and I said, "So, tell me about your mayor." "Oh, okay. Well, they go to a community hall, maybe 600 people. We're talking about a small town.
It's a small town.
Yeah. You go in the bathroom and you look out the window, you're already in your bedroom. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like one of those things.
It's like my college
or somebody's bedroom. What's
like
he doing in my room again?
It's like the church I went to when I was a kid. You could even do a victory lap. You just ran in place. Spirit hit you. Oh, hallelujah. Just one leg.
You know what he's talking about. We've all been there in some point of our lives. So you know how they vote for their mayor in this little town?
How they do?
Everybody goes to the community center, which is probably like as big as our office here. Small, real small.
Gotta go outside to change your mind. That's
exactly.
how small this office is.
They get up, they do their little speech, why they want to run. And then after they're done, people raise their hands on who they want to vote for. Somebody goes around, counts the hands. Person with the most hands becomes the next mayor.
See? Let's do that. Or let's put him in the octagon. Put him in the steel cage.
There you go.
Yeah, survival of the fittest.
Right. That could be real ugly depending on who was in there. But
yeah.
But it's so much money that's being made. Why would anybody want it to stop?
No, they don't want to change it. If I can vote for my own salary, why would I change it?
Well, how can you have somebody that's making $200,000 plus a year? Right. And this is not supposed to be about politics, by the way. But how can this is just kind of like a humorous type way of looking at it. This is all humor, everybody. It's not serious. $200,000 plus benefits.
Right.
And then after 10 years of being there, and they're making their 200 still.
Right.
They're worth like $300 million.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, if you get in there and you do,
I believe in making good investments, but come on, I mean that's an
investment. But here's the thing. I mean, it could still happen that way for you if you get in there and you do something good and you change the country in a way that's good for everybody, right? And you come out of there, now you still have the same opportunity to write a book or go on a tour or a speaking tour. You know, if people hate you, the chances are it's not going to happen. But
you might sell books. Sometimes people believe any type of mention at all is a good thing, but good or bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But you said it earlier, lobbyists.
Yeah,
that's why they're making as much as they are, because there's things going on behind the scenes.
Right.
But neither here nor there. So, what can you tell people out there that maybe are feeling kind of down and they don't know where to go, what to do? What do you suggest for that? Because things are changing again. It seems like we're going back into where we're going to be shutting down again a little bit.
Yeah, I think we are shutting down, and you know, I think the thing that helped me through was I was in my word every day. I was praying every day, you know, and trying to reinvent myself. You know, how do I while I have this downtime, how do I figure out how to do what I do in a different kind of way? And you know, there's no easy answer to it, but have some folks that you can talk to, your friends. I got a group of friends. We're a tight little group of friends that anything we need, we can talk to each other and we make it happen. And so you got to make your circle of friends people that
trusted,
truly understand,
true and trusted, have been there from the beginning.
Exactly.
I have a group of people like that. Am I falling off my chair? Am I okay? I only had 2 shots before the show. It's not that. I had a couple gummies. Mixed it with my Jack, you know.
Gummies and Jack. That's
Hey, you got to get what you can get when you have it. It's there. We need to have more of those types of things for our guests when they come here.
I remember with the Stones a few years ago. The Stones had a new album coming out, and they were on an interview, and they said, "So what's on your rider these days?" They said, "Well, back in the old days, we had Coke and alcohol and anything you could possibly want or need." He says that just beat us up, and now it's wheatgrass. I was dying, and they were serious as a heart attack.
You had Keith Richards at Wheatgrass. And when he found out what it was, he didn't like it.
Right.
So the thing that we need now, of course, is more upbeat podcast type stuff, good group of friends, maybe some good movies that you can fall back on. Yeah. One thing we didn't cover, who was your favorite comic? Who was that one that you said totally just like, I want to go into comedy?
I don't think there's one. I'll say this. The first comic I ever saw live, I was in the 8th grade. It was Paul Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
He was opening for Willie Tyler and Lester.
So we've all gotten to know Paul through the years. I've met him a few times. You probably know him way better than I do.
And then
very talented man.
And then after that, I think it was, I was intrigued by the storytellers. Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor.
Boy, Bill's got some stories now.
He's got some stories. But Bill Cosby gave me one of the best notes I ever had. I was working with him on Ghost Dad.
You worked with Bill Cosby?
Yeah, on Ghost Dad. And
so this probably, for you, it probably was a shocker. And probably I would say it'd have to be sad to have that ad, because I admired the guy.
Yeah. I think my issue with the whole thing was
Ghost Dad.
40 years ago, the Hollywood drug was Quaaludes. Everybody, that was the Hollywood party drug.
Uh-huh.
And so my issue with it was
there's other people doing it besides him.
Nobody said
anything else. Anybody else
said no at the time. He gave me pills and I took them. So that's my issue with it.
What about the drink thing? Slipping a few drugs in the drinks, things like that.
I don't know.
I mean, you're right. You're right. During the time, it probably was going on across the board.
Yeah.
And maybe he got picked out for some reason other than.
Could be. Could
he have pissed somebody off? Possibly the higher ups.
That's possible.
Is it a race thing?
You never know.
Could it be that too?
It could just be a power thing, because he was getting pretty powerful.
Well, he was probably one of the most powerful men in TV at that one time with the show, and then after that. So Ghost Dad, what was it like working with him?
It was great. I was sitting in my trailer looking at a 7-minute tape of my act. It was like my first 7-minute tape. And he and Sidney Poitier were walking by. And
Sidney Poitier?
Yeah, Sidney directed it.
You're kidding?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love Sidney Poitier.
The thing I liked about them was that when he gave Bill notes, they would just hug and he'd whisper in his ear. He wouldn't just say out loud what he wanted to do. He whispered.
How interesting.
It was really interesting. But they saw that I was watching my thing. So Bill stepped up. He said, "How long is that?" I said, 7 minutes. He says, "Rewind it. Watch the whole 7 minutes." And when I first started, my thought was, you got to do a whole lot of jokes real fast to make it funny. And he says, "Look," he says, "they want to laugh." He says, "You're stepping all over laughs." He says, "You're doing so much material. You're not giving them time to laugh." He says,
"Slow down.
Once the joke lands, don't move, don't talk until that laughter subsides, then go."
Interesting.
Overnight, I went from 7 minutes to 25. I was doing 25 minutes of jokes in 7 minutes. And so, then I was a feature act after that. It was one of the best notes I ever got.
So I heard recently, and I read that Sidney Poitier is actually working with actors, young actors.
Oh, really? Good.
I'd read that he is counseling or coaching a lot more, a lot of young actors that are coming to him, seeking him out. Sounds like he's one of those like untapped resources that just would be phenomenal to learn some things from.
Man, I bet. He was around for so long and so good.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't think I ever saw a bad Sidney Poitier movie.
No.
I think every movie Sidney was in was, I don't know if you saw a lot of his movies, but his movies, all of them. To Sir with Love.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal movie.
Raising the Sun. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one with Tony Curtis where they were prisoners.
Oh yeah.
That was good. I can't remember the name, but it was a good movie.
Yeah. He was solid and extraordinary.
And classy. We don't, other than Denzel, I think of Cary Grant. When I think of actors that had that, I think it's savoir-faire is the word.
Yeah.
He had that class about them, that elegant, even
that charisma.
Right. There was just something special about them. Denzel definitely has it, by the way.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Denzel one time. I said to him, I'm actually better looking than you. I said, you just carry yourself like you're the best looking guy in the room. He said, yeah. He said, I do. He said, you take that into the room with you, you'll book more jobs.
The worst thing you could have said to him probably besides that is when you first met him, gee, I thought you were really taller than you actually are. Of course, I think he's a tall guy.
Yeah, probably about 6 feet.
Yeah, it's taller than that. Look, phenomenal. All these people you're talking about are, I mean, you've had moments, these moments of greatness that a lot of people have not had the opportunity to be around. I mean, these stories are amazing.
Yeah, I've worked with some really big names.
You need to do a book on this stuff. You really do. It's fascinating stuff.
Huh.
Don't you think so? I'm talking to the audience, by the way. Don't you think so? He's got some great stories. I mean, I can't even imagine the good stuff we haven't even heard yet. After a couple drinks on the next show, we're going to find out everything. Yeah, baby. Woo!
Maybe. Start rolling around. Start writing my memoirs.
Change a few of the names, protect the innocent, right?
Well, I remember when the whole like Me Too movement started, and I think most people in the industry, sat back and started thinking about every encounter they ever had, and I was fine. I was able to sleep at night. I was like, I know that I haven't done anything that's off the wall that somebody would call me out on. So,
well, there's people that actually can change their mind and say, well, you never asked me.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me if you wanted to be with me. You just kind of, but then the person never says anything either. I mean, I've heard where people have come back, they've had like buyer's remorse after 20 years.
Right.
The lemon law.
That's why I gotta get a yes every step of the way. Look, I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna shake your hand. Is that okay?
By the way, I have this contract. Would you fill this out, please?
Right.
Also, I need you to do the saliva test real quick. I'm gonna see if it turns blue or green. Make sure you got no weird any COVID or any AIDS or any. Here, take this. Here, we can't touch yet.
This is the medical team over here. This is the law firm over here.
So bad, but it's true. We become like, it's almost like you can't move naturally because we're all freaked out about what to think or what somebody is going to say or think.
Well, case in point, Aziz, he got called out, and
who's this?
Aziz, this comic. He
got called out for inappropriateness on a date, and then, what does that mean?
Exactly. And at the end of the day, even these women on The View came out and started saying, well, that was just a bad date. It's like, you don't know the difference between inappropriate and a bad date. You had a bad date.
A bad date is when you think you've got the woman, and then it turns out she's got a midget next to her. Where did he come from? Where does she come from? Oh, you can't say midget anymore, can you?
No, little people.
I have friends that are little people. Occasionally I slip and I call them out, and they kick me in the shin, or but we had the guy that was in was it Elf on the show one of those times? Or was it the other guy? Peter? No, it was the other guy that plays, he's in the Star Wars movies. But anyway, he was a great guy, and also a very good actor. We become so sensitive to certain things.
To everything. People wear their sensitivities on their sleeve, and especially in the comedy world, just lighten up.
Imagine Don Rickles nowadays.
In court every week.
I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But your humor is more, I saw you perform once, and I forget the name of the place we went to go watch him. There was a brewery.
Oh,
the South Bay area. Good show, by the way. Nice venue.
Was it the Bay Bridge?
It was actually the last time that you were on the radio with us before this last time. That was a few years back.
Bay Bridge Brewery.
You were phenomenal.
I like that place.
Sold out. Packed house.
Yeah.
And you were like, you're on your game. I mean, you were in your element.
It was fun.
It is. So we need more of those things, and hopefully, God willing, all that stuff will come back. And You know, is there anything creative that you want to do that has nothing to do with acting or comedy?
I'm working on an idea for something in the shooting industry.
The what?
Shooting
We're
industry.
talking about guns.
That industry, but it's not really.
You're a weapons guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
This is another show. This man is the gift that keeps giving. Right? At least that's what I heard from one of your exes, but the heater was always on. Oh, I better behave myself. No, I'm not.
Oh, behave.
Really, I had no idea you like weapons.
Yeah. And it's funny because I grew up in Compton and it was never really in.
Well, that's all you had to say. Now I understand.
Well, but it wasn't until I moved down here and started hanging out with my friends in the military, Navy SEALs and those kind of guys that I got into it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then,
so I look at it this way, and you can correct me because I mean I love weapons. I mean we've been wanting to get more involved.
Firearms.
Here we go again. You can't say that. You got to call it this. You're not politically correct.
Well, it's not technically a weapon until you weaponize it.
Now, I talked to Ron Jeremy before, and he had mentioned something about a weapon, but anyway.
That's a whole different story.
So, what kind of weapons? Firearms are we talking about? High power.
Well, you can't have good high-powered stuff here in California.
Well, I know people that do have stuff that they do take out that's pretty intense stuff. I mean, I've seen some stuff that friends have, and I'm like, wow.
Like my favorite thing is sporting clays. I like shotgun. Oh,
I like shotgun is actually my favorite weapon.
Yeah,
and I mean, not weapon. I think firearm.
I'm best at that, but I'm a quick draw. So when I really started getting into it, it was because I was invited by the NRA to do.
See, this is very interesting. You were invited by the NRA.
Yeah, to do the Bianchi Cup, to shoot the celebrity speed shoot at the Bianchi Cup.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's
that might I go over with some of your friends.
And the next thing you know, you need a bigger safe.
You probably have got some hell for that.
No.
Really?
What are they gonna say?
Well, we didn't realize you were so violent. We didn't realize that you had to feel so powerful by this gun. Is there something lacking why you need this weapon? Firearm.
Well, for me, it's a sport. It's a sport. It's like I slipped in the shower and broke my back and couldn't golf anymore. And so
I thought we were going to go somewhere else with this.
That's when I started shooting.
Shower. You slipped in the shower. You couldn't golf anymore.
Yeah.
How's your back now?
Today it's hurting, but I think it's the weather because it's cold.
So your back hurts because you slipped in the shower.
I crushed my T11.
Yeah.
So it's about right there. So when you golf, that's where you get that torque. And so that thing hurts when it's cold.
Very interesting. So everybody, you got to admit, this guy is a fascinating guy. I do really think you should do a book. I think you need to do at least one book. And I mean, your stories are phenomenal.
Okay.
No, I mean, they are.
The funny thing is, I'm not interesting to me.
You know why? Because you don't think. I mean, I'm telling you, I meet a lot of very interesting people. You are an interesting dude.
I have a friend that I write with, McCord Larson. He's in Salt Lake, and I did a film for his brother, and he goes, "I want to write, a movie about you." I was like, "Why? Who's gonna want to see that?" And so over 2 years we talked, and so now we have a script that we're gonna start getting out.
So what kind of movie?
It's a movie, a biopic about my life, about
It's kind of a Howard Stern type thing.
Kind of growing up in Compton and
you saw Stern's movie.
I didn't. From back in the day.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that.
Kind of a biopic with a little Hollywood tied in, and they're kind of the whole thing. With
yeah, this is more of how I got to where I am now.
So is it a documentary, docudrama? Is this something
sort of a biopic about growing up in Compton and the journey that I ended up on because I met a teacher named Mrs. Schilling.
Ah, there we go back. That's another thing.
Yeah.
We always say there's that one teacher. There's that one teacher that we've all can go back to and say, Mrs. Smith, what was her name?
Schilling.
Mine was Miss Kelly. One of them, Miss Bulin's another one. She had a crush on me, but that's another story. Sorry, Miss Bulin. I blew the whistle on you.
every milestone in my career, I would call Mrs. Schilling and let her know. And every time she would cry.
Yeah.
It was like, why are you crying?
Did she
be happy? I am happy.
Did she tell? So did when she was mentoring you, teaching you,
Mhm.
what did she tell you she saw you doing, or what did she say to you that stood out in your mind?
Nothing. She gave me something else to do other than hang out with gangbangers.
Ah,
You know, it's like she got me involved in speech and debate and gave me my first play. And
she gave you the foundation.
yeah, and because of that, you know, I ended up with a debate scholarship to USC and ended up in the acting.
You ended up on the debate team at USC.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you know this, Sarah?
Yeah. And
you don't think you're interesting, man? These stories are amazing. I mean, you could have been another statistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Very well could have.
And I don't mean in a good way, but I mean,
no, I know.
You became a statistic in a good way, but you could have became one based on that whole.
Yeah. Well, and that's what the movie is about. It's about that.
Well, I think it sounds very inspirational.
We need some funding. Send money.
I know a good manager he can call. We can talk about this stuff and help out in any way we can, of course.
Okay.
You can call Brett Davis, of course, and I handle all his business.
You know a guy?
I know a guy that knows a guy who knows a guy. I appreciate you being on the show.
I appreciate you having me.
Is there anything that you would want to tell anybody out there? Anything comes to mind that just you want to say before we wrap it up?
Well, yeah, I'd like to say to anybody out there that if during this time of the year is bad for a lot of people.
Oh, it is.
You know, and if you're having issues, you know, call somebody. Don't just sit at home alone. You know, speak to somebody. Stay happy and healthy and safe. And it's okay to grieve, and it's okay to ask for help. You know. Yeah.
You know what? He's right. Don't be alone this time of year. Stay engaged. Okay, everybody, you take care. And I appreciate you for being here, of course. And I love the way you talk about life and the way you've lived. And people need to learn how to live again the right way. The way you've lived is very. You don't think it's a big deal, but it is, because look at the way our kids are growing up now.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw my youngest. This was a wake up call in a way for me, and I kind of knew this. The way we had to stand back the last couple of years and kind of let things go by without touching and wearing masks and things. But I saw, you remember how we graduated from elementary school? You remember that? You remember graduating from elementary or junior high school or high school?
Yes.
I saw my daughter, my youngest daughter, graduate by doing a drive-by.
Oh, right.
Wearing a mask. Yeah. And I didn't say anything. I almost felt like crying. And she was so excited. She thought it was the greatest thing. And I'm like, she has no idea the difference, because she has nothing to compare to it.
Yeah.
And that goes with everything else that's going on with our young people now, or even people that are alone. And you're right. This time of year is a really rough time. So
yeah,
Mark's absolutely right. Reach out. Don't be isolated. Stay active. You know, I talk to friends every day. My wife keeps me laughing all the time because she's funny, and that's just the way she is, of course.
And if there's somebody you haven't talked to in a while, you know, reach out to them and see where they are and just say hi.
As long as it's not an ex and you're married. Everybody take care. And of course, I want to thank my sponsors, Attorney King, Saquon Casino and Resort, everything they do. Nikki Rotten's, of course, which makes a really good ribeye. And if you're vegetarian, they make a phenomenal salad. IB Fitness, of course. Everybody at IB Fitness, Marina Teal, thank you for everything you do. Look forward to visiting you in Houston. I heard it's a great city. Been there a few times. Houston's not bad.
There's a great sausage place in Houston.
Yeah. I like sausages, mostly back in the East area. That's where the sausages.
Well, this place does, like, you know, veal
and
gator and all that kind
gator?
of stuff.
I love gator. Gator's good. You ever had gator before? Love gator. Tastes like chicken. Wait a minute. We're talking about gator. Of course, Wilsey Asset Management. Brent, thank you so much for everything you do. And he's like the guru of finance, and give him a call. He's a great guy. We've done some stuff together. Looking forward to doing more things together. And everybody out there, Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Love your friends, love your neighbors, and want to take it away?
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
God bless everybody. Take care.